Buenas tardes, tengan todos ustedes bienvenidos a una sesión más de remota, estante por Grita Radio. Hi, everybody. Today we
Wait, is
yeah,
it called? Sorry, is it called Rey Mota?
no,
What you
remote,
say?
remote. It's a remote.
Oh, remote. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I couldn't hear properly, and I thought you were saying like King Weed. I was like, what?
That would be a cool name for the show, but no, my show is called Estante, which means
Yeah.
things, and that's also a long story why it's called like that. But what everybody wants to know is that we have a couple of really cool guests today, Leah and Yayo from Las Cruxes. And we are going to talk. Well, I actually have a lot to talk about. I have never had a chance to talk to you, so welcome.
Thanks. Thank you for having us.
The first issue on the agenda, something we started talking just before we went on the air, is that the name is pronounced Las Cruces, but it's spelled with an X in the middle, and
Yeah.
that started a whole thing. So why the X there? I just thought it was just like punk rock thing, but why do
Yeah. I mean that's what it is, but it's also kind of like making fun of the whole idea of that. Like when like really cool underground bands do stuff like that. And I mean, I love gothic music, and like goth bands and death rock bands. And this band, like, sucedió cuando me salí de Pastilla y estaba tocando con mi amigo Javier de Los Ángeles, que toca el bajo y es DJ en antros de goth. So era como, oh, let's do a like funny death rock band, pero en español, you know? And I was like, we need like a stupid name, like something like, oh, it's so dark. And so we are like Las Cruces, like, oh, And it's really funny because our first show in Los Angeles, we had our friend design us a logo that I think it's on our Facebook page right now. And it's like super like death metal looking. It just doesn't, it has nothing to do with the band, but that's awesome. And it has like some crosses and it's all weird. And our first show that we ever played, we were opening up for so Christian Death, all the members aside from the singer Ross Williams because he died and stuff, they do like a tribute to Christian Death and it's called Theater of Pain. And our first show that we played, we were opening up for them and they didn't even know what we sounded like or anything like that, like because we didn't have a demo or anything, but they saw the logo and the name and they got us to play that night, and I showed, it was like a goth rock night, and I showed up and I have like, I remember perfectly, I had like a pink Beach Boy shirt, and like hair like this, and it was just really funny.
But how did the audience react? They were like, okay.
Well, I mean, Las Cruces is like a very punk, rocky, like loud in your face band, so it doesn't really matter. We just look different, and like, yeah, it's just weird, it's so weird.
So how well thought out was the concept when you started, or was more like, well, we need more space to explore new things?
No. It was more like I used to have a rehearsal space in downtown Los Angeles, and me and the bass player would always hang out. My friend Javier, his name's Javier Martinez, Xavier, and like we were literally just hanging out one day because it was so hot in Los Angeles that we both left our houses. Like he left his parents' house, I left my parents' house. We were like, fuck this, it's too hot. We were gonna go to the movies. I remember that. We were like, let's go to the movies, like, in some AC. And we got to the rehearsal room and we just started writing songs. And we were like, hey, let's do a band. And then I was like, oh, but it's gotta be stupid, like, like a stupid name and it's gonna be different. And the whole idea with the band was, like I came from that school, with like Pastilla and stuff like that. It's like mass, like, like alternative punk rock, but well done, like there's there's songs and stuff like that. Yeah,
Melodic.
And the whole idea for this band was like, we're gonna go against that, And now we have it, but there's also parts like where I'm like, yeah, this song is totally missing like a bridge, but it's like, fuck it, like it's not a big deal, And yeah, it was just cool, fast, easy.
So you would say that it was liberating, and that's the reason why you didn't want to be so, because when you say stupid, that can mean a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like silly, but it can also mean bad done. It doesn't actually mean non-smart. But so exactly in what sense of
stupid do I mean?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good question.
That it's like cool, you know, it's like fucking stupid. It's like so fucking cool.
Exactly.
It's like it's cool, but it's, you know, it's like, oh my god, this is so dumb, you know, but it's like cool, you know. And I don't know, it's weird. And but yeah, you know, yeah, I think it was a little maybe liberating, you know. I for sure had a bunch of songs in me because I mean this is already like our fourth LP, you know, and in 3 years, so I for sure had a lot of stuff, you know. And we scratched the whole record last year. Last year we only released 3 singles, and I recorded a whole record completely different from this one. And we just released 3 singles throughout the year. And
Yeah. Why did you scratch it?
and
What
I
was?
don't know. I don't know. I mean, it was cool. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know. I just kind of went like, fuck it. It's
Yeah.
the new one. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, that's stupid. That's stupid in that cool sense. I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but those were just the two of you. So how did you become a band? How did you gather the rest of the people?
Well, the band's really weird. It's like there's like a core group of people, you know, but it's really weird. And I moved recently from, well, 3 years ago from Los Angeles to Nebraska. So we like, the band kind of works like a big collective.
Mhm.
So like I have the band members in Los Angeles that has a rotating crowd of people too, like people from within the scene in Spanish rock, plus like in the English scene too. We have some of the girls. One of the drummer from Alley Witch plays with us. Jeff Davies, that used to play in the Brian Jonestown Massacre, plays with us. Just different people, you know. And so the band kind of goes like, hey, who could go on tour? And it's like, okay, and then whoever goes on tour, then cool, you know. Yeah, so there's like a band there. Right here in Nebraska, Leah's playing with us, you know, and she like was on the record and stuff. Like, so she's like official. There's like there's like Mark that plays keyboards, him too. He's like part of the core, you know, and the drummer and stuff. So they do shows with me here. And then I have some friends in Chicago that are part of the band too, that when I go to Chicago, they just, and the same thing in Mexico City, you know. So
I can see the connection between, you know, LA, Mexico, Chicago. These are very large Mexican populations. But how does Nebraska fit in? I mean, of all the places in the world, you could have. How did it?
yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of speaks for itself because like Leah's white.
I'm not from here though.
Yeah, you know, she's not from, yeah.
From Nebraska.
No. I am.
Okay, so since you're the one then that should tell us how you ended up in Nebraska.
Oh, that's a very long and boring story, but but yeah, it's kind of goes back to like almost previous band related, previous relationship related, you know, and it's really easy to live here in a lot of ways. There's like, you know, it's not as exciting as Los Angeles or Chicago for sure, but it has its perks, you know.
I lived in India for many years. So
Oh, did you?
Yeah, for more than 6 years.
Where?
Wow.
Where?
India.
In Indiana.
Oh,
Bloomington,
Yeah.
Indiana.
yeah.
So yeah, I
So you understand, yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Actually, I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. No,
You just have to find the silver linings, you know, when you're in the Midwest, at least in my opinion. But yeah, coming from like bigger cities and moving here is, you know, it's had its challenges, but it's had its, you know, silver linings as well.
Okay, but then how did you meet the rest of the musicians there? I mean, because I can see that your connections to the scene in Chicago, Mexican, are long, but once you are there, how did you meet the rest of the music scene?
Just like going out to shows, you know, and meeting people and stuff like that, you know, going to gigs, talking to people and stuff, you know. I've played with other people here before them too, and just didn't work out, you know. So then it's like, all right, move on to the next batch, you know. It sounds terrible, but you know, it's just, yeah. Yeah, this band is really weird like that, you know. Everybody knows the gig, you know, like everybody's in the band, but at the same time, like we're not gonna get mad because you can't play a show.
Yes.
You know, like I've been in bands where we've had to cancel tours or shit like that, and it fucking sucks. you know.
It's just the nature of it.
Yeah. So this band, it's, you know, it's just like, hey, don't worry, you know, like it's like everybody that's in the band is in the band, you know, like they just are.
How many people have been in the band so far? You would
A bunch. So check it out. Our first ever little tour that we did. We were practicing like 6 of us in Los Angeles, and only 3 of us could go at the last minute. So we only went 3-piece. Okay.
Okay.
And then the last time we played in Mexico City, we played at the Marvin Festival, the year that the Buzzcocks played and stuff.
Oh yes, I was
With the editors. Yeah. And we were 9 people.
cool. I should have.
Yeah. So like right now, the way it's working is 2 drums, a bass, keyboard, and 2 guitars. Yeah. But sometimes it goes like this time in Los Angeles, we're probably gonna be 3 guitars because we're doing like a little mini West Coast tour, the July 31st through August 9th. And that's gonna be 2 drums, 3 guitars, like, you know, just build up baritone, bass, keyboard players. So it's cool, it's fun.
How much does the music change from each version of the band and the recorded version?
No, because we're still loud, dude. Even when we're little, when we're like small, you know, like we're still loud. Like I usually play out of 2 guitar amplifiers, you know, and I like stereo them, so one on each side. But I'm not switching off between amps. They're both playing just at different tones, you know. So I run some pedals to one and some pedals to another one, you know, and we crank it, you know, like it's, you know.
Yeah, I would say that because we've done I think we had a show here where we had like there was last minute issues with band members and we ended up being a 3-piece, and yeah, it's pared down obviously, but I don't think that it changes like it's fuller, and you just, you know, it brings another element to everything, you know, it makes it fun.
Okay, so what does loudness mean aesthetically to the band? I mean, why is it important that this has to sound loud?
Because the band is loud, you know, like we're not a quiet band. You know, we're a loud band, you know, like, and the music we write is meant to be played and heard loud, you know. It's not meant like, you know, like there's stuff, you know, just like that you won't tell like at first, you know, but like if you hear in a recording, there's stuff that like just tone wise and stuff like that we like do, and it's on purpose, like just to drive it as much, and like drive like good loud wall fuzz, you know, not like like that B sound, like shitty sound, like good, just big loud, you know, like it's like so loud and distorted that it doesn't sound loud and distorted, it just sounds big, you know.
So it is because you have tried other ways and it didn't.
Yeah, man, and it's because honestly, like going back to was there a thought process? Like I guess that was kind of it, because when I started playing in the band, I wasn't even using a guitar rig. I was using my bass rig, you know, and the bass rig that I have isn't a bass rig. It's a guitar rig. Yeah, it's like a bass head with I used to run a 412 cabinet, like a guitar one, an Ampeg, and then I used to run a 212 one next to it. So it was 6, like it was like a half stack and then a little 2, yeah.
Cool.
And then I have this really gnarly like PV bass head from the 70s. That's like, if you crank up the gain, it's like, it sounds like you don't need a big muff, you know. It's like, so you just like drive big. So, and that's what I started playing with this band. Like the other guitar players would always be like, man, your sound is so dry. And it would just be like big and loud, you know, and it's like no reverb, no nothing. And that was like the whole like thing, you know, get as many guitar players as we possibly could. Like I love that. The whole thing with playing with 2 drummers, it's so loud and so cool. You know, playing with like 3 guitars, like 3 guitar amps, you know, just fucking, it's cool. Cause even if everybody's playing the same thing, everybody plays differently and everybody has their own tone. Like it could be like, yeah, you know, so like it just, everything sounds so cool and big, but different, you know.
And how do you look after your ears? You are like, so you.
There's a lot of losing of the hearing, you know, a lot of those, you know, after you're like
Tinnitus.
It's just bound to happen. And I mean, we're all old. That should have, and we've all been on tour and shit like that. Like everybody in this band has been on tour and stuff like that for a long time. Leah's been like on the work tour. She's been in Europe. She used to play with the girl from L7 in a band called The Shocker.
Oh, cool.
So like she's done all that shit. Jeff Lambert, our drummer right now, same thing. He's on a band called Digital Leather that they were like on Fat Possum Records. They're playing Goner Fest in September this year with like the Spits and like just cool bands. But they've been on tour, like they were like on the Vice tour. They were on tour in Europe too. Like, so I mean, if we were gonna go deaf, we would have all been deaf by now.
We all have tinnitus and some hearing loss
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, maybe we are, you just haven't noticed because we don't hear. So whatever is happening in that spectrum of audio.
I mean, for sure, I know maybe a little bit because there's sometimes where people are like, hey, hey, and like I turn around, but that could also be me just being like, eh, you know?
It's a good preface, not to
Subconsciously just like, eh.
just filter whatever you want to hear.
Yeah, exactly. Selective hearing,
You
you know, definitely selective hearing.
Also something I really like about Las Cruces is your videos. I mean, they are so fun. It's just not only fun to watch, but also because it seems like you were having so much fun.
Yeah, we were, yeah, and just drunk a lot and stoned, you know, and just. I remember the Bleach one. We were on tour with Los Honey Rockets, which is Vilchi's band, you know, and we were in Los Angeles and we did that video at our drummer's house, and it was cool. We were just, you know, the guy that did our first video and Amigo did that one. And he does really cool videos, but he always wants to get really artsy, you know, like a director, you know.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, but I'm always like, no, it's gotta be stupid, you know, like.
But it can be both. It can be stupid and artsy. And
I guess, but I'm just like, no, it's gotta be stupid, like, you know, just I don't know.
so you have to you are also like involved in the visual concepts of the videos.
Like just a little bit, but more on the like honestly, we've let them do like whatever they want,
Creative freedom.
you know. It's more like maybe I'll throw out an idea, you know, but it's never been like, oh no, like our friend Jacob that he did the last video for this single, and he did the one before for our last record, and he's never done videos in his life. Like never. I'm talking about never. This is not his thing. I've known him for years. He's my friend, you know, that I've known for years, like easy, like 20 years. And I was like, yo, Jacob, you're gonna do our next video. And he was like, what? And I was like, dude, you could do it. You got a Mac, right? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, just do it, dude. You could do it. I'm like, film some shit, do whatever you want. And he was like, okay. And it was fucking cool, you know? And then this last one, I was like, dude, like, you know, and he was like, and then he said that he bought like a shit ton of stock footage, you know, and like he thought of a little story, and like then he filmed some stuff too, you know, and now he's gonna do our next one.
Cool, yeah, because it's proved to be very, very, very good at this actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, a few minutes ago you were saying that Las Cruces has like this core
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
I assume you are there. I don't know if Leah is there, I assume as well. But how horizontal is it, or how much of a dictator you are in the band? How important is the distinction between the core and the rest of the people?
No, it's because essentially the core becomes whoever's doing it at the time.
Oh,
you know, and that's it. You know, like everybody's involved, but it's like whoever's like it's like when we record records, whoever's playing at the time, I split it evenly with everyone. You know, it's like if you're doing that at the time, you get equal like everybody. You know, you get all the press shit. You know, just like the whole band package. You know.
Okay, so they make too many mistakes. Well, they run out of time, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, you know. It's like whoever wants to be in it, and everybody plays in other bands too, you know, and stuff like that. So it's like, and some of those, like pretty much everybody that except for Xavier, because he wasn't in a band, everybody else that's played in this band has another band that's their priority. This
Oh,
is like the side band, you know.
but it is also your side band, or it is your priority?
I don't know. I think it might still be my side band. I'm
Cool.
not sure, to be honest. Yeah.
That's awesome. But then how do you decide what you're going to pour into Las Cruces, what you're going to pour into other projects?
I don't know. I think right now I've just been doing this, like
So it's been your
for like 3
priority.
years. But I'm not opposed to, like, and I have like played with other people at the same time and stuff. Like I play with Jeff. He has a band called Pass, and it's like a super hippie band. And but I'm here in Nebraska, so right now when we go to LA, like he's gonna play and do the tour with like his band, plus as a musician in Las Cruces. So it's just like, yeah, I don't know.
Okay, but that doesn't seem to be like something that is very structured or like
Nah,
Nope.
goals and in 5 years we see at this festival, nothing like that.
nah,
No business plan.
nah. It's just like come as it goes, like, and I like it to be like that, just like surprises here and there. Like we played in Phoenix a month ago, and this dude hit us up when we got back that he was at the show, and he manages a band in Spain. So he was like, hey, you guys want to do a tour maybe next spring? And I was like, yeah. So it's just like, yeah, it's nothing structured. It's just there's always cool little things happening for the band, so it doesn't, I feel like we don't need it to be that structured in that sense. And everybody has their own life, we're all like old people.
How old are, okay, I don't know if it's
Hey, I can't tell you that.
no, because yeah, you don't look that, or maybe because I'm older, but you don't look that old, so I'm
I
like,
don't look either.
But we all have it. We
Yeah, I
all
think
have we all have kids and lives and stuff. Yeah.
I guess that's a big difference, I guess.
Mhm.
Okay, but then how do you decide what is going to when you're going to record, for example, right? Because that's going to require another kind of commitment, because it require
Dude, this band is it's
it's not
just,
that kind of band.
yeah, man. It's just like kind of like whenever I'm like, hey, we're gonna record.
Whenever he's feeling
Yeah, when I
it.
feel like it. Like right now I'm already doing songs for a new record, and I talked to the two producers. So there's two ideas because I'm going to Los Angeles for like a week in 2 weeks. So one of the producers lives there, and we were like, hey, let's record some songs. And I was like, oh, okay. And the other guy that's here that produces too, that they both produced our last record, they I've been talking to him too, like, hey, I want to do another one again. He's like, all right. So I might do 2 more. I don't know. I'm still trying. But yeah, it doesn't it's not like that. It's just kind of like whenever, and it's not pressure like for the person to record, because like I do all the music stuff, like I arrange everything, but the structure and ideas there, and so just in the studio it's always been like like I'll record as much as I can, and then I'll let everybody else record if they want to record too. But at the same time, it's not like we're gonna be spending like 5 days on a guitar because the person can't get it. It's like if you can't cut it, then we got, and it's not a hard thing. It's just like we just got to get this done. We don't have time for like that. And making records are expensive unless you're recording like at your house. That you could make something badass. But going to a nice studio, it's really cool. And it sounds great. It's never not gonna sound bad unless the guy that's behind the board doesn't know what the fuck he's doing at all.
But you already know, you can trust, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But also that brings me to the question: being so loose, like the identity of the band, how do you keep it coherent? How do you keep it conceptually consistent, right? That this is what Las Cruces is about.
Um, I think because there's like one songwriter.
And that hasn't changed. You're not like, you're not gonna let anybody else say
No, not that I haven't let, because when we released our first EP, the guitar player George,
Mhm.
he was like, yo, I have a song, and it was fucking cool. And like he sang and recorded it, you know. And then during the second record, we didn't record it, but our guitar player Nathan, he's like badass, dude. He has a band called De Lucre, and they're fucking cool, like garage goth psych band, but really poppy. And we used to play, like, he had a badass, just people, you know, they're all amazing music. Everybody that plays in his band is a fucking good musician. There's a reason, like, why they play in the band, you know? Like, I'm not even saying it like that, just kind of like, I don't know, I kind of just associate with people that, you know, and it's not because I look for it, right? It just kind of happens, you know, and I'm like, oh, sick, cool. Then you know what's up, you know what's up, you know, and stuff like that.
So you just vibe that they're going to get it.
Yeah. And yeah, so I'm not opposed to that, but I mean, at least for the last, I think, yeah, this is our 1, 2, 3. This is our 4th one. I've been like the sole main dude, you know. So, and I mean, I don't know. I feel like the people that play with me, I mean, they must like it, right? Like if they're playing, you know.
Why else would they be there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or if they don't, yeah, you know, yeah, exactly. I don't, you know, like, I don't know. But I always tell everybody, if you don't like it, don't worry about it. Like, you're not forced to play. You know, it's not a big deal.
So you have met all these musicians on the road and just on the scene, and you have invited,
Yeah,
or they tell you,
yeah.
you know, I want to play in Las Cruxes. This sounds so fun.
No, just like, you know, we become friends, and it's like, hey, you want to play with us? All right, you know. And they're usually like, dude, it's cool, you know. And it's like, okay, cool. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you even more like specific to Mexico City, which is what I know the most, right?
Yeah.
So how do you keep members in Mexico City? It's because it was people that you knew were before and now are here, or people that you met here.
It's like a mix of both. Like, for this next tour that we're gonna do in October, Beauties is gonna be playing with us, you know. And then we're gonna have our friend Sam that plays in a ska band called Los Imposters, that he's played drums with us before. We just had like just different friends, you know, that are like, you know, friends that I like their musical taste, you know.
So it's not enough to be a friend; it has to be a good musician friend.
A good musician friend that likes good music.
So
And which,
there's good musician friends that don't like good music, even though they're good musicians.
yeah, and maybe not even good music, but just good music to me, you know, like, yeah.
So yeah, you go through the record collection, you go like,
Uh-huh, yeah, exactly. I don't know.
So yeah,
Um,
what is the checklist? What do they have to like?
They gotta like Pulp. Okay.
That's surprising me, but that's
They gotta like Pulp. I love Pulp, man. Jarvis Cocker is the shit.
I know, but
Um,
it's not something that I went to see it with Las Cruces. I would be like, oh yeah, you know.
oh, dude,
Fans.
now that you know that I love Pulp, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I hear a little bit of Pulp in there.
I don't actually.
No, yeah, dude. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, let's see. I don't know. The Cure for sure. You know, at the drive-in.
But is there anybody who doesn't like the Cure? I mean, that's
Yeah, exactly.
Weirdly.
Yeah, really.
Yes.
But I grew up with that stuff. You know, I'm gonna be 38 this year. You know, I started listening to that when I was like,
young. I told
and I'm gonna be like, I started listening to the Cure when I was like 14 in like 9th grade, like 8th, 9th grade. Yeah.
one of my very first t-shirts was a The Cure t-shirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same
Yeah.
here.
And
I thought I was
in this land.
I thought I was so cool with my big baggy pants and my oversized Cure shirt.
Mhm. Combat boots.
You probably were.
Oh fuck, that was a fucking nerd, dude. I grew up in like
Now we were cool.
I grew up
I know
in
what
East,
you're
I
talking
grew up
about.
in East LA, dude. Like a kid like me in East LA, dude, when it was all like cholo time when I was in like 9th grade, you know, like that was weird, man.
Yeah, how did people react? They were like,
Fucking nerd. Oh my god.
you were goth, but did you become full goth or just The Cure and the more popular stuff?
Yeah, I think I started off with like the popular stuff, like the Cure and the Smiths, you know,
Susie.
and like Yeah, like minor threat,
Prerequisite.
just like the typical like 80s stuff, you know, and like yeah. And then I early till I was like in like 19th, and I got to like death rock stuff and stuff like that. Yeah, I think when I started going out to those type of clubs, I was like, oh, cool.
And that's when you started playing, or when did you move from listening to music to say, "Oh, I want to play"?
Oh, way early, man. When I was like 14, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I used to play like in clubs and I was like 14, 15. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Because you know they would let you play, but then like once you were done, you had to leave. And if you just stuck around, I was in like ninth grade. So then you would like just hide somewhere for a little bit and then just kick it. That's so funny.
So you started playing very, very, very young, like professionally, or like at least with
Like at
an audience.
a venue?
Yeah, at a venue.
Like, is that where you were
Yeah,
playing
like
at
yeah,
venues?
when I was like 14, 15 years old, it was like 9th, 10th grade.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Leah?
I started playing like classical music actually when I was like about a little bit younger than that. So yeah, I mean, um, yeah, and then it just kind of grew from there. I had like some shitty guitar lying around, and then bought my first bass, and scales and all that stuff. But yeah, I grew up in the whole Susie Roberts Smith, like a Christian Death, Sisters of Mercy lands as well.
Yeah,
It's kind of my bag, huh?
you do check all the
Yeah,
stuff.
I guess. Yeah, and I like pulp too, so I guess I fit the checklist.
Yeah, there we go.
How about you? How did you meet?
I actually right before COVID, I was drug out of the house by a couple of friends that were going to see some bands play, and yeah, and I was like, all right, cool, I'll go out. And then I just I watched them play. I thought they were cool, and um we just started talking because it was like knowing that there was someone else from Los Angeles that lived here. We just kind of started chatting. So I was like, hey. um yeah, and then he blew me off and then apologized a couple days later and then just kept talking to me.
On my defense,
I know, how rude, right?
on my defense, I ate a lot of weed butter that night, and I was so high. And I remember I was at the bar, and I remember I was like, I gotta leave. I'm sorry. Like in mid conversation, like I think she was saying something. I was like, bye.
I know. I was like, well, don't want to talk to him.
But I was just so high. I was like, oh my God. My friend, like, he was like, hey, my mom made this. And I was like, what? Okay. And then like I just kept eating it, because I was like, this is nothing. I was like, this is nothing. And I kept like, it was like Cheez-It crackers. It was like wheat butter with Cheez-It crackers. And they gave me a little thing with like 12 crackers. And I was just like, oh, this is good. Just eating it throughout. I remember I was eating it before we played. And then in the middle while we were playing, I was like eating some because I had them by my amp. It was terrible. Kids don't do that. That's not good. Responsibly.
Yeah, exactly.
You can edit that part out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Do what we say, not what we did.
Right.
And then when did you start playing together?
God, I don't even remember because it was months after that because he was asking me, but I was
I
just
think over the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when we met, I was in the middle of finishing up the record that I scratched. Like I was just finishing it up. I remember that. And then our first show, because in the Midwest, they were still like open, they opened early here, but they don't give a fuck,
We didn't fully close.
Give my freedom back. They're like,
Yeah.
And yeah, dude. So like in July they were like opened already, And then I had a friend call me and he goes, yo, oh, he posted a flyer that they were playing in Nebraska. And I was like, dude, I live here now. And he was like, oh, we should play together. I'll get you guys some money and stuff, open up the shows. And I was like, all right. And then that's when we played, but we did like one show.
There was like three,
It,
weren't
it
there?
was
But we
3 or
did
4,
one.
and we did one, and it just went bad. You know,
Oh,
like we got in a fight with like the
Like the show
manager, like
itself was
the
fine.
yeah, it was just like
other stuff.
the other side, the not so cool band stuff, you know.
yeah. So what was the venue people, the other band?
No,
Venue was
it was
fine.
the promoter of the
Okay.
tour.
Oh yeah, I should have guessed that. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So it was just like, yeah, I'm not doing this. like we could party and hang out for the weekend, but you know, we're not gonna play tomorrow, and we're not gonna.
So
Well, there's no, that's kind of unnecessary details, but yeah, they were all like kind of really spread out, and like some of like there was one that was like a red, white, and blue festival, and it was like really not fitting for like who Las Cruxes is, in my opinion,
Yeah.
to like really play.
I was
So we're like,
I was like, fuck it, it's gonna be stupid because we're a Spanish rock band and we're gonna be playing all these weird events of like,
we're
yeah,
gonna
you
be
know what I
the
mean? Like
Sex
to me,
Pistols
like to me,
playing
it's like to me, it's
cowboy
like,
bar.
dude, that's punk rock, dude. Like it was just funny, I would love to see the people's reaction to us, that'd be fucking amazing.
In that respect,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it didn't happen. So,
Yeah.
oh wow. Yeah.
Some other time we'll play
Yeah.
a cowboy festival.
The problem is the promoter.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. If there's any cowboy festivals out there that wanna gig us, just hit us up. We'll play it.
And you have never like questioned the decision to sing in Spanish.
Nah. I don't even think I think about that. It just happens. I feel like if I try to sing it in English, I think about that more. Like way more. And I stop myself from doing it. Like I'll start it off in Spanish and then I'll be like, oh, let me try this in English. And like I'll like I just it doesn't work for some reason. I don't know. It doesn't los pinches no cruzan, man.
Las palabras.
Just everything, melodies, words. Yeah, and it's weird because I mean I've been speaking English like all my life. I was like born and raised here. I was in school. That's like the first language. Like but yeah, for some reason, it's just it doesn't. I don't know what happens. Something gives, and it just like falls. Yeah, it's so weird.
No, it's better. Yeah, you're right. Not to force it. I mean,
Yeah, like I feel like if I'm forcing it, and I've never felt that way, like writing in Spanish for some reason, it's really weird.
It's interesting.
okay, so of all the things that are involved in the existence of Las Cruxes, recording, having the record out, touring, and composing, just all the friendship around the band. What do you enjoy the most? What just like makes it worth
Going on tour, man. I love that shit.
Really?
Yeah, and I love like like the terrible of going on tour. Like the sleeping on people's couches, like a van, like just like super like DIY punk rock. I love that. It's like grimy, and yeah, I want a hotel bed too, but I love doing that. It's cool. Like I don't mind doing that. It's like whatever. Let's go do some shows.
Yeah, I love the feeling. Like I love the feeling of going to is like when you work towards like a certain show or a string of shows and you play them, and it's like everything is just kind of locking together, and that feeling of it when you're done, and then all the like touring for sure when you meet new people, and I love that aspect of it. I mean, I haven't really, other than our going to Phoenix, I haven't really done that with this band, but I've always loved that. And as far as the grimy and underbelly of them, like that is part of it. Like that's part of the like getting to know different people too. Like I have like friends all over like the world and the country, which is beautiful. It's a really beautiful thing. So yeah, and you do it all because of music. It's sweet.
Yeah, that's the best way to.
Yeah, and I love the camaraderie, like of all the people. Yeah.
Exactly, because I mean, Las Cruxes built on that, around friendship and solidarity among musicians that just want to remind themselves why they love doing this, right?
Mhm.
Why rock rocks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you so much for your time. This has been really, really, really enjoyable. Is there something that was still left unsaid that you want to share with the audience of Grita Radio?
Ask for a single, you know,
Of
stream it, all that stuff. Llueve, mis sueños. It's on todas las plataformas digitales, Deezer, Spotify, Apple Music.
Yes.
Is that the correct title? Huh?
Yeah.
Google Play. Yeah. El viernes, junio 18.
okay. Entonces estás.
Just to see. We've just been doing like little press here and there and stuff, and like cool stuff. Yeah. Thanks for this fucking space, man. Very,
You're
welcome. And I also
we
want to.
fucking appreciate it.
Oh, you're very, very, very welcome.
Thank you.
I also want to, I mean, watch the videos. They're really cool. Watch the video for
Yes.
It's
Watch the videos.
exactly. They're really awesome. And also ask when we have the live DJs on the air, say, oh, you know, that new Las Cruxes song, I want to hear it. And then
Yes.
play for you.
There we go. Exactly. Do that, please.
Pues muchísimas gracias una vez más.
No, thank you.
Y pues me despido. Otra vez, mi nombre es Axel Barceló. Este programa se llama Estante, EZTANT, para que lo busquen en todas las redes sociales. Estamos en Twitter. This program is so old, we have like MySpace and Flickr.
Awesome.
Are they? Do they still? Do they still like
Updated?
No, but it still runs.
Yes, it's still
Go
running.
there.
Really? Yeah. Oh
But
my god. That's...
To our Flickr, you can see like old interviews, like very young people. From,
Oh, that's funny.
Cool.
Oh my god.
but now you can also follow us on the newer ones. And Instagram, it's @barcelo.axel, on Twitter, and of course, listen to Grita Radio, www.gritaradio.com. Pues muchísimas gracias.
Thank you guys.
Gracias.
Bye.
Bye.